live. This is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment. Wow, it's kind of bright here. Yeah, you can see the sunlight through my window. A little bit of a quick update before we get to the meat of this video, live stream video. I will be posting Pitch Perfect 3 review. I believe the embargo will lift on Tuesday. Excuse me. And then I will post the reviews for The Greatest Showman, and then Bright, and All the Money in the World. All three of them. I'll post them on Wednesday. So the video review for Pitch Perfect 3 will be on Tuesday. And the video reviews for Bright, The Greatest Showman, and All the Money in the World will be on Wednesday. And tomorrow I'll be posting my, my interview articles from the Darkest Hour press junket. Darkest Hour is that movie starring Gary Oldman as the late British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Okay, let's get right to it. Oh, and by the way, in the upcoming weeks, I will also post my, because it's the end of the year. So annually, of course, you'll be getting my best of the best movies, worst of the worst movies, and other categories that I'll come up with. And feel free to suggest some movies that I should put in on those top 10 lists. Okay? Alright, so this news hit the web this past week, and it just like, it rocked the entertainment business, man. As you all know, this is part of the domino effect or the tsunami from the Harvey Weinstein scandal. Harvey Weinstein was one of big movie mogul, was one of the big movie moguls in the industry until there was an expose a few months ago that pretty much became the beginning of his fall from grace. He got fired from one guilt to the next, and it was from a history or a pattern of sexual misconduct, sexual harassment, and even rape over the years. And a lot of it has to do with or involves a lot of famous actresses, like Ashley Judd. So anyway, that's the background, that's the context. So now fast forward to this past week. Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson is the director of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies. You know him, right? Peter Jackson, three-time Oscar winner, one of the greatest storytellers of all time, a geek god, if you will. He revealed, I believe to Stuff, that was the original outlet. He revealed that at the time when he was developing, early stages of developing the first Lord of the Rings movie, he was considering actresses like Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino. But Harvey Weinstein and Bob Weinstein, through their Miramax banner, told Peter Jackson to not hire these ladies because, quote, they are a nightmare to work with. So I don't want to, let me give you the gist of what happened here. This is from the article on Variety. All right, here it is. In an interview with New Zealand media outlet Stuff, there you go, I was correct, Stuff, Peter Jackson discussed working on the Miramax-produced The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings films with Weinstein. Peter Jackson said, I recall Miramax telling us that they were a nightmare to work with and we should avoid them at all costs. This was probably in 1998. All right, pause. They, again, as in actresses like Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino, and it says on the article here, at the time, Peter Jackson and his team had no reason to question Weinstein's intention. Peter Jackson continued, in hindsight, I realized that this was very likely the Miramax smear campaign in full swing. I now suspect we were fed false information about both of these talented women, and as a direct result, at the time, their names were removed from our casting list. So again, Peter Jackson was considering Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino for some roles in the Lord of the Rings movie. We don't know what those roles are. You probably can argue, well, Rama, maybe it's a good thing. I mean, that the universe worked that way because the Lord of the Rings movies had a great cast. You know, every one of those actors in the Lord of the Rings movies, the female actresses, they were perfect for their roles, and I don't argue that at all. I love Kate Blanchett. I love Liv Tyler. I would not want to see those roles played by other women because they were so good at what they did in that film, or in those films and the sequels too. But you just never know. We'll never know what Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino could have done for those roles or for those characters if they had been given the chance. It's one of those questions that we'll just never know the answers to. But the problem is that they were never given a chance. Now, this story broke out in that New Zealand magazine stuff, and of course, Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino responded to it because both actresses have their own official Twitter feed, and Ashley Judd, I guess, both Mira Sorvino and Ashley Judd were relieved, that they're what's the word I'm looking for? That they were validated. Like all these years, they had this inclination or inkling that they were some kind of, they were thrown in some kind of a career jail where nobody's hiring them left and right, even though freaking Mira Sorvino won an Oscar. And Ashley Judd had a great career in the 90s. I mean, freaking A. What was that? Double Jeopardy. It's one of my favorite thrillers of all time. And that let's see here, that movie that she did with Kiss the Girls. She did that with Morgan Freeman. That was amazing. Loved it. I love those thrillers in the 90s. And Ashley Judd were part of that whole genre. And then after that, we haven't heard much from Mira Sorvino or Ashley Judd as a movie fan. After Mighty Aphrodite and Romeo and Michelle, it's like, where's Mira Sorvino? You don't see her anymore on posters or on billboards or on upcoming big screen movies. They had been doing like smaller gigs from then on. And so they were, now that Peter Jackson came out with this story, they feel validated. Like, I knew it. That's what this industry was doing to us. That's what Harvey Weinstein was doing to us. I knew it. Because Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino and Rose McGowan and all the other actresses have accused Harvey Weinstein of sexually harassing them, sexually putting them in sexual uncomfortable situations. I think Rose accused Harvey of raping her too. And because of that, because of what happened, Harvey Weinstein retaliated, and he told other filmmakers not to hire these women. So now Peter Jackson revealed it, and to be the truth, revealed that to be true. That is exactly what happened to the careers of Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino. So Ashley Judd said on her tweet, Peter and Fran had me in, showed me all the creative, the boards, the costumes, everything. They asked which of the two roles I preferred, and then I abruptly never heard from them again. I appreciate the truth coming out. Thank you, Peter. That's what Ashley Judd tweeted. Now, we'll never know, those two roles. Is it the one that, Kate Blanchett played or Liv Tyler played? We'll never know. But apparently, Peter Jackson went so far as having Ashley Judd come over to the development stage of the movie. He showed her around. He showed her, these are the two, one of these two roles. Which one do you want? He was even willing to give, I don't know if she even auditioned for it. He just wanted her to be in the movie. And then she never heard from them again because Peter Jackson spoke to Weinstein's that told him to never hire Ashley Judd. Quote, because she's a nightmare to work with. Mira Sorvino also tweeted, and she said, and I quote, "Just seeing this after I woke, I burst out crying. There it is. Confirmation that Harvey Weinstein derailed my career. Something I suspected but was unsure. Thank you, Peter Jackson, for being honest. I'm just heartsick." So what's the takeaway from this, man? I was trying to wreck my brain around it. Okay, the first response I had when I read this, I guess disappointed, but at the same time, I understood. I'm disappointed in Peter Jackson that, as a fan, I look up to him. He's a filmmaker that I admire, but I'm disappointed that he would take Harvey's word as a gospel, like it's the truth, to end all. Like there's no need for questioning again. He said this, like, he said at the time Peter Jackson and his team had no reason to question Weinstein's intentions. Why? Why would you not want to question that? I mean, like, if somebody tells me, "Hey, Rama, don't hire him or don't hire her because they're a nightmare to work with." Okay, if I'm interviewing the employee, I would ask the employee to come back, and I'll be like, "Okay, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I've been hearing rumors that people giving me warnings that I should not work with you. Is there any truth to that? Is there something that you need to confess to? Because I don't want my team to be problematic. I want to hire somebody that could work together with my team, to move this business along." That's what I would do. I wouldn't just like, "Oh, what? Oh, is that they're a nightmare to work with? Okay, that's fine. I'll just blacklist them. I'll just never call them again." I don't know, man. That's not a cool move. If you're an employer, if you're a boss, that's not a cool move. You need to at least notify them. Poor girls, they were left not knowing. They were left like, why? What did we do anything wrong? So they're like, it's the same cycle again. They're starting to think that there's something wrong with them. It's like, I never heard back from them. And freaking Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino are two of the most talented actresses in the business. If you've seen their movies, if you've seen their body of work, if you've seen their performances on screen. So I'm disappointed in Peter Jackson in just taking Harvey Weinstein's word as gospel without double checking if there's any truth to Harvey's claims at all. Like I said, I would ask the employer to come back. I would, try to find some truth behind it. That's what I would do. Either that or I would ask other filmmakers, like, "Oh, Harvey told me not to hire Ashley Judd. What do you think, Spielberg, or what do you think, Woody Allen? What do you think? I would check with other filmmakers who have worked prior or previously with Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino to find out if what Harvey claims about them is true or not." So those are the two things that I would do. But clearly Peter Jackson did not do that. Maybe, that's why I said I understood. Maybe, Peter Jackson at the time was really, really desperate in trying to get this movie going. This was his baby, Lord of the Rings. So, and he said this. Let me double check. Okay. All right. Peter Jackson said that he had no direct experience or knowledge of the sexual allegations. And Peter Jackson said this, and I quote, "My experience when Miramax controlled The Lord of the Rings before New Line took over production of the film was of Weinstein and his brother behaving like second-rate mafia bullies. Second-rate mafia bullies. They were not the type of guys I wanted to work with, so I haven't." So Harvey Weinstein and Bob had executive producing credit, but ultimately Peter Jackson did not make the movie, Lord of the Rings movie, with them. It ended with New Line, and that's a good thing because Harvey Weinstein also said here in the article that Weinstein demanded that Peter Jackson make the movie into just one instead of instead of two parts. Peter Jackson initially wanted to do a two-parter, and so he took it to New Line. New Line accepted Peter Jackson, and New Line even suggested, you know what, let's do a trilogy. And Peter Jackson said, like, that's a great idea. And freaking Harvey Weinstein even he made demands like, I'm not gonna help you make this movie unless you make it into just one movie, not like two parts. So even in creative decisions, man, Harvey is a dick. Just to say it straight up. And then on top of that is this whole thing with the smear campaign to put actresses in quote unquote career jail. So again, yes, I'm disappointed in Peter Jackson, but I also understood why he did what he did. He was at the time he was a filmmaker that really wanted to get this project off the ground, and Weinstein was one of the most influential, powerful, wealthy people in the industry. So you need financial backing for your project. That's this big budget project. So I totally understand, but at the same time, I'm not excusing Peter Jackson. I'm not giving him too much credit either for speaking out now, because I think, again, he could have gone straight to Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino and asked them. It's like, hey, Harvey told me this about you guys. Is there any truth to that? Or he could go to other filmmakers that have worked with Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino to double check. So those are some of the things that he could have done, but he was at that moment where he just wanted to make this movie already. Another thing before I end this video is, see, this is the problem with this industry. As much as I love covering entertainment and Hollywood, the concept of gatekeepers. All right, gatekeepers meaning one or two influential people deciding things, making the big decisions, and he or she can make or break your career. So if they don't like you, if you don't do as they say, they can pretty much tell other filmmakers in town not to hire you. So that whole concept bothers me, man. I'm like, we shouldn't give that much power to somebody. Or I don't know if other industries also have quote unquote gatekeepers. I think the sports business also have them, right? When it comes to trading or hiring athletes. I'm not sure about workplaces or office settings. Maybe too. If you want to work your way up the corporate ladder, you're gonna have to please. You're gonna have to please or make happy some gatekeepers along the way. So it's an unfortunate thing that we have that in our world. I don't know what the solution is. Do you guys have any suggestions or idea about the concept of gatekeepers? Maybe that's also why I'm a big supporter of independent filmmaking, because there's no one person or one studio controlling, the whole every aspect about that project, from casting decision to creative decisions. Independent filmmaking is it's all about pure collaboration, because you don't have enough budget to start with. So yeah, I'm glad, I'm glad that Harvey is no longer a gatekeeper in this industry, but there are still other gatekeepers out there. And you can't deny that this whole, tactic of telling everybody in town to not hire certain people, you can't deny the fact that it's still going on, right? It may not be tied to sexual misconduct or sexual allegations. It could be some other aspect. I think it's even dramatized in such series as Entourage. You know, that tactic, that practice, you can't deny that it's still going on. So it's a sad fact about this industry. And lastly, I noticed that Oscar-nominated screenwriter Eric Heiser, Eric is the one that adapted the movie Arrival last year. Do you remember that? Arrival with Amy Adams. Fantastic film. So Eric got wind of this whole situation, you know, after Peter Jackson came out revealing that he blacklisted Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino because of Harvey Weinstein's smear campaign. Eric immediately tweeted, I believe on Twitter, saying something along the line, and I'm paraphrasing this, that he will write and produce a movie project for Ashley and Mira Sorvino. Uh, that's mightily nice of him. That's awfully nice of him. We don't know when that's gonna happen. If it's anytime soon, we don't know what kind of project, what kind of roles, but I'm sure Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino appreciate the gesture. But more than that, you know, I'm hoping for women filmmakers, female filmmakers, to be the ones providing those roles. Not to no offense to Eric, you know, if he wants to keep doing that and he provide Ashley Judd and Mira Sorvino with roles, that's fine. But I'm also encouraging female filmmakers now in this day and age when a lot of women have the courage to come forward and speak out. We need to also give more opportunities to female talents in front of the lens and behind the lens. You know, there's no better timing than today. Yeah, that's it. Those are my thoughts about this big news. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Sorry if I missed out on some of your super chat that's going on right now. I know there were some that pops up on the screen while I was blabbering or ranting. That's it. Those are my thoughts. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And please, guys, please appreciate. I cannot say this enough. Appreciate the women in your lives, okay? Whatever roles they may be in. Appreciate them. All right, let's rock this.